Take 84.
All right, guys, so welcome to Airsoft. Fuck. I can't do that. What's up, Airsofters? This is Cam from Valkyrie Airsoft Productions, and thank you for showing up to our event. We're excited that you're here, but first things first, we have to cover the safety and go through the briefing. The weekend schedule goes as follows. Friday, you can get here as early as you want to go ahead and set up your camping. From 5 to 7, we're going to have chrono and registration for those who want to get the chrono and registration done before the Saturday when it becomes a little hectic. Saturday at 7 a.m. we reopen chrono and registration. You do not have to go to registration before chrono. You can do either or, does not matter. At each station though, you're going to either get a wristband for registration or you're going to get a tag on your gun for chrono. You have to have both of those on the field in order to be safety legal. We're going to have rolling briefings about every 15 to 20 minutes. This is going to be instructed by one of the game attendings who will be able to pause the video and answer your questions. We will go ahead and do the last game briefing approximately around 9 o'clock, and game start is going to be at 9:30. We're going to have a break at lunch around 12 o'clock to 2:30. We're going to have lunch at the Pro Shop located on the map here. That's also where you're going to get your HPA refills, your rental guns, anything else that you might need. We're also going to have vendors at the pavilion that you've already probably seen. Then we'll end the game at about 5 o'clock that night. If you're here for the night raid at the evening, we're going to have a game briefing back here at the pavilion at 7 o'clock. The game starts at 7:45 for the night raid. Sunday, we're going to start back up at 9:30, and then we're going to go until 2 and have the raffle at 2:30. On the map is color coordinated for either circ or locals, either tan or green. You're going to notice that your HQ is going to be your starting point for the morning of Saturday, the morning of Sunday, and after lunch on Saturday as well. Now, as far as your respawn goes, you're going to see that you have 2 respawns for each side. Your CO is going to be able to tell you which respawn he wants to set up for that evolution, whether it's in the morning of Saturday, after lunch on Saturday, or if it's in the morning on Sunday. But either way, you need to ask your CO what respawn we're using, and then when he tells you, you're going to have to actually go to that respawn point, whoever decides to do this on your team, but actually go and set up that respawn for the rest of your team. When, let's say, the next evolution happens, like let's say Saturday he decides to say, we're going to start out with respawn 1, but then after lunch he says, guys, we're going to go for respawn 2, we're going to reset our respawn. That now means that respawn 1 that you initially had in the morning is no longer valid. You're only allowed to have 1 respawn open and active for that evolution of the game. So it's important for you to know what respawn your team is going to have open for that evolution. If we find that you guys are going to one respawn or the other without the designated radio antenna in the yellow pole that we're going to have in the ground, that is going to be cheating. We're going to ask you to stop. We'll inform you of where the other respawn point is, but if we see this continually happening and you're not following the rules, then we're just going to kick you off the field. If you have any questions at this point, please stop the video and ask one of your attendants. If you're in the Southeast, you know that many different hosts do different things as far as their chrono limits. What we've done is based this on joules, and for HPA weapons, we're going to be doing 0.32 gram BBs that we're going to be chronoing your weapons with, and for AEGs, we're going to be chronoing your weapons with 0.25 gram BBs. This is a semi-only, mid-cap only event, unless if you're a qualified LMG or support weapon based on the real-world classification of your weapon. Each class is going to have their own joule limit. So the rifleman is going to be stuck at 0 to 1.5 joules. There's no MEDs, so you can shoot people at 0 foot. Support gunners, LMGs, you're going to have a 0 to 1.86 joule limit, but you're going to have a 50-foot MED. So that means that you cannot shoot anybody within 50 feet of your gun. DMRs is going to be 1.5 to 2 joules. That's going to be a 50-foot MED as well. Sniper rifles is going to be 1.5 to 2.5 joules. It's going to be bolt action only, and it's going to be a 100-foot MED. All of your guns will be tamper taped, and it's going to also have a tag on them. As far as the ammunition and how many rounds you can carry on your person, The LMG class is only allowed to have 2 box mags with them. If you're running a rifleman class, DMR, whatever, even pistols, you can run as many mags as you want. Now, a caveat with the pistols is that you cannot run drum mags on your pistols. You can run high caps on your pistols that are double stacked, whatever. As far as how much ammo you can carry on your person, let's say if you're running a minigun and you want to carry, 30 bottles in your book bag, that's fine. For this game, you're going to be allowed 3 lives. You're also going to have 2 medics, and there's a 5-minute bleed out period. This means that if we go through a scenario real quick, if you get shot, you need to call yourself hit, raise your hand up real high, yell out to everybody so they know, raise your dead rag out. This is another requirement that you have to have, so see it a gaming attendant if you don't have one of these. But once you call yourself hit and you get down, sit down. If you're in the line of fire, okay, somebody's shooting at you and they're trying to get to guys behind you, do not be the poor unsportsmanlike player and yell at them, hey, quit shooting, I'm already dead. Walk outside that line of fire, sit there as you're bleeding out for your 5 minutes, waiting for somebody to medic you. When you're ready to be medicked, go back to where you got shot and let the person medic you. If somebody gets to you to medic, which everybody's a medic, they can take one of your 2 bandages, whether it's an MSW tourniquet or if it's one of the ones that we've provided that are white, or if it's a rope or hair scrunchie, whatever it is, they will take one of them and wrap it around your arm. That is considered 1 life at that point. Now you're back up and you can play, put your dead rag back in, and then resume gameplay. Dead men do not talk. Do not sit there and say, hey, I'm down, I need a medic. Also, this player just came around and they shot me, they're heading north or whatever. Now, the second time that you get down, you have, again, a 5-minute bleed out period. This is a minimum that you have to stay there. You can stay there for as long as you want, trying to get a buddy to revive you. That's okay, but you must stay there for at least 5 minutes. And then if somebody comes and revives you, they're gonna pull out that second tourniquet, put that on there, and then you're good to go for your 3rd life. On your 3rd life, there is no more medic. Your buddy can't give you one of his medic bandages, you're out. You only had 2 of those and you've used them up. So at that point, you have to bleed out for that 5 minutes. Again, you can wait there for longer if you want, but 5 minutes is the minimum. Then you can walk back to respawn, reset all of your tourniquets, and you're good to go. We also want to remind people that if you ever see somebody that's severely hurt on the field, or if they've taken off their iPro, you need to call blind man. Everybody is at that point to stop wherever they are, stop shooting. If they get shot at this time, it does not count. They just need to stop what they're doing and echo the whole blind man. Yell as loud as you can say, blind man, blind man. And then when everything is ready to go, whether we take care of a downed player or whatever, we'll tell everybody that the game has resumed. And go ahead and echo that too, is game on, that way everybody knows that the game is back on. This is a safety thing, and if you were hurt, you would want somebody to come to you. We're not allowing safety kills, but if you decide that you want to be generous and say, bang bang or safety kill to someone, and if they take it, fine. If they don't and they turn around and shoot you, well then now you're dead.
Oh no!
So I would recommend just going ahead and shoot everybody. There should be no blind firing. You should always be looking down your sights. You should not be turning your gun around the corner without looking down your sights and shooting people, or bringing your gun up and shooting people. There is no overshooting or shooting and calling somebody out and saying, hey, call your hits and all that stuff. That is unsportsmanlike and that will not be tolerated. Ricochets, if you're in a building and they fly around the room and you think you got hit, when in doubt, call yourself out. But if you know that they were ricochets, they do not count. Shooting through soft cover, being bushes and shrubs, this is not considered ricochet, okay? So if you're hiding behind a bush and you get shot, sorry, you gotta call it. If your gun is on your person and you're not using it and it gets shot, that is considered a hit. If your gun is up off your person and you're aiming down it or whatever, that is considered a gun hit and that does not count. Continue playing, maybe even yell to the person, gun hit. If your gear gets hit, you're considered out. Use the term when in doubt, call yourself out. Now again, if your pistol's in your holster, that's on your person again, you're not using it, and it gets hit, you're hit. Knife kills, they can be performed by mock knives, but again, they have to be rubber and it's non-negotiable. If somebody kills you with a knife, just go ahead and call it. And by the way, if you get friendly fired, that does count. So call your hit again.
Oh no!
iPro, it has to be full seal for this event, meaning that you cannot get your fingers around your goggles or mask. For Oakley users, this has to have an kilo kit on there, or you can just wear normal goggles or a whole face mask. When you're on the field, do not remove your eye pro. If you remove your eye pro, you need to step off the field, whether it's to clean it or whatever. You cannot be on the field. But if you see somebody that removes their eye pro to clean, that is a violation of the rules and you need to call blind man for that person. If you're under 18, we require full face protection. So that means goggles and a lower or a full paintball mask, whatever that might be, but it has to cover your full face. Now, if you're over 18, this is up to you. It is not a requirement. It is recommended that you still wear that lower face protection and your goggles or glasses, Oakley frames, whatever, but it has to be full seal. The lower face protection is recommended because people are shooting DMRs and snipers that are up in the 2.5 joules. We are not responsible for anything that hits the face and busts the skin or hits your teeth and breaks a tooth.
Oh no!
So just go ahead and wear that lower face mesh. Remain in proper uniform that corresponds to your ticket. So if you're tan, you cannot run green, and vice versa. Just stay tan for tan and green for green, that's it. You cannot be wearing jeans, you cannot be wearing flannels, you can't come out here in civilian or shirts and skins. As far as cold weather gear, if you're asking about a jacket, that is actually considered clothing, so it has to match the clothing of the ticket that you purchased. You cannot have a black helmet because let's say you're popping up from a bush and you can only see black. How is somebody going to know if you're friendly or if you're enemy? Now, if you're asking about black gear, if you have a pistol mag that is black, or let's say you're on green team and a lot of your gear is tan, that's fine. The gear does not matter. The gear color does not matter. It's just that black helmet does, and your base camo has to match your ticket purchase. There's no riot shields allowed. Now, if you're bringing communications with you, whether it's Baofangs or other radio sets, headsets, whatever, it's going to be up to your CO to designate the channels, the frequencies, however he wants to delegate that. When you get out onto the field and you line up today, your CO should be the one to say whatever squad has whatever channel and however he wants to go ahead and delegate that. According to this map here, anything outside of the red zone is a no mag zone, meaning you cannot have mags in your weapon, you cannot be firing your weapons in the parking lot, in the pro shop or near the pro shop. It's only within the field that you can fire your gun and test shoot your gun, unless if you're at chrono. Now when we're on the field, you're gonna have spot chrono checks. This is going to be at random for any person. When you're getting spot chrono checked, you're either going to be with an AEG, it's going to be 0.25 that you're going to be spot chrono checked, or the 0.32 that you're going to be spot chrono checked. So if you're running a DMR and you have 4 5s, but in the beginning of the day, you were chronoed at 0.32, again, we're going to be comparing with what we have on your tag at that 0.32. If you fail this spot chrono check, we're going to either take one of two actions. Either we're going to reprimand you and ask that you reduce your joules, or if it's severely outside of what we chronoed you at in the morning, this is blatant cheating, and you're going to be asked to sit out for the rest of the day.
Oh no!
Now, there's slats between some of the metal walls, and there's also maybe some holes in some of the buildings. If you cannot put your face, your head, through the hole, you're not allowed to shoot through it. There's vehicles out there with windows cut out or broken out, that's fine. You can actually get into some of those vehicles, that's okay. But just remember, those things are sharp and it's up to you to be safe on the field. There's also animals on the field. We've seen snakes time after time. They're normally like these rat snakes, but if you see something that's venomous or if you see a snake, don't be shooting it, just leave it be. Don't call blind man, try to find an attendant to tell them about it. But don't stop the game for everybody just because you saw a rattlesnake. Referee decisions. If somebody comes to you and you feel like the rules were kind of iffy and there's a gray area and a referee tells you that you're in the wrong, referee decisions are final. Respect what the referee has told you and do whatever they say. There's no verbal abuse or physical contact allowed on the field. Now, rubber knives, again, should only be stuck to the person, but that's it. If you own a grenade or Thunder Bee or flashbang, whatever it might be, that is completely fine for this event. The only thing that we're requesting is that you do not use tag and launcher products.
Oh no!
So if you have an M203, you can use a spray shell, that's fine. If you've already talked to us about a Nerf launcher and we've approved that, that's okay too. This is gonna be a 15-foot kill radius for any grenade. Whether you're sound, or it's a Thunder Bee throwing BBs out, or if it's a pea grenade, it's a 15-foot kill radius. If you're within that 15 foot and you know that you're not behind hard cover, then you're dead. If you're behind hard cover outside of the room that it went off on or outside of that 15-foot kill radius, then you're fine. The only exception to this is if it's a pea grenade or some projectile spewing grenade like a Thunder Bee with BBs in it, and you're outside that 15 foot and one of those things just come and pelt you, you're considered out. Go ahead and call yourself out. One of the funnest things in airsoft is to pop some smoke, throw it out, get some cover from that. The only thing that we're requiring is that it's cold burning. So your Enola Gays are going to be mostly what you're going to be using out here. That's what the Pro Shop sells as well. So that's okay. But maritime smoke, like what our team uses, and especially what the admins will probably be using today, that is not okay for the regular player. That is admin specific. Those are usually hot burning smokes. And anytime that you throw a smoke, you should try to visualize your grenade that you threw. This is up to you to make sure that there's no wildfires and all that, especially with the dry debris and anything loose that it might actually come in contact with. There has been some fires, especially from admins, but we've been able to take care of it just by looking at the grenade. There should be no alcohol or drugs on the field. Tobacco products is fine over in the campground, but we prefer you not to smoke on the field because there is propane tanks with our cannons that are going off. There's also dry debris. Just don't want to start a fire. There's going to be no fires allowed that are on the grounds unless if you have your own fire pit. Garbage, clean up after yourself. We're going to do our best to help with that by keeping the garbage bags removed and replaced. If you know people that are littering, just let us know and we'll take care of that as well. Restrooms, there's going to be a bathhouse next to the pavilion, and there's also going to be restrooms located in the Pro Shop. No real weapons are allowed on the field. Firearms should be left secure in your vehicles, and there should be no real knives or multi-tools on the field. I understand that, you know, some of these multi-tools have screwdrivers and you can use that for your guns. That's completely fine. Just keep it in a pouch or in a book bag. We do not accept any responsibility for stolen items. Ways to gain points for your team. There is critical terrain points. These are those boxes that you flip a switch to say circ or local. These are automatically digitally recording points the second that you switch it. So please look out for these. Again, they're located on the map, and you want to do a player down mission and you successfully complete that, that's also points for your team. If you do a return of a drop box, so on the map here as well, there's going to be drop box locations with 1 through 4 here. And if you get to those and you bring back the box to your CO, number one, there's some BBs in there probably for you and some other goodies. But also your CO will probably get your airstrikes, UAVs, and other things for your CO. You can return fuel rods. There's going to be approximately 30 to 40 of these yellow rods that are about this long. And maybe a little bit longer, but they're going to be located throughout the field, and every time that we break and start a new evolution, like after lunch or whatever, they're going to be in different spots. So continue to look for those. Bring them back to your respawn, and the enemy players can still go to your respawn if they want to try to get to your respawn, and they can grab those. So at the end of every evolution, we're counting how many of those rods remain at your respawn. Capture the other CO, that's also some points. You have to return them back to your respawn, and if you do that, dead or alive, doesn't matter, but if you bring them back to your respawn, you get points for capturing the CO. The last thing that you guys can get points for is going to the black site mission. Ways to lose points. Obviously, if you violated any of these rules that we talked about previously, then you're going to be able to lose points from that. The biggest thing is unsportsmanlike conduct. The other thing is if you're breaking things on the AO or you break one of our props. Again, that's not acceptable. If we see that happening, we might end up just taking you off the field. Those CTP boxes are very expensive. They took time to program. If they get broken from one person and we're able to pinpoint them, we're just going to tell you to leave the field. As far as attempting player down missions, if you attempt a player down mission and you're unsuccessful getting that player back to your respawn, because let's say you all die from somebody shooting you as you're carrying the person, then it does not count and it actually might count against you. As far as attempting the black site mission, Accept these missions and try to do your best, but again, we're all here to have fun. It's just a way to keep points. If you fail chrono, we have spot chronos that we're going to go around and we're going to chrono your weapon. If you fail those chronos, your team will be deducted points. And depending on the severity of it, you actually might just have to leave the field because it's just blatant cheating and it hurts people. All right, finally, the safety briefing is over. You don't have to hear me anymore. If you have any other questions, please go to this safety attendant. But we hope that this weekend you have a lot of fun. We hope that you all understand the safety briefing because this is the fundamentals of the game. This is what makes the game run smoothly. And we also appreciate you guys buying a ticket for this event. We know that it could be other events that you're going to, but you chose us to go to this event and giving us a shot and continuing to stay with us as well. I look forward to seeing you guys, capturing some footage of you maybe. I hope you enjoy the weekend because we have a lot of things in store for you. Like us on Facebook, comment to us with feedback. We always are looking to grow the next event, and we hope you enjoy the game. You think people are going to even listen to this thing here?
Doubtful.
Doubtful? Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Deuce out.